Let's get the one in Hebrews. Finish reading. Finish reading, because there's something I want to bring out of Genesis first.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 28.
Go ahead.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison.
Isaac loved Esau because Esau is the one that brought the meat home. He brought the food home. Read.
But Rebekah loved Jacob.
Why did Rebekah love Jacob, the mother? Because she was told before the children was born which child would be the one to protect, which child would actually be the chosen and heir of the promises. Read.
Verse 29. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
Go ahead.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
And it says that red pottage because there was blood and uncooked meat in the pottage. That's what made it red, blood. So he said, feed me with that same red pottage. That's rare meat. Now we know according to the law, according to the Bible, it's against the law to eat meat with blood in it. You must cook the blood out of it because the blood holds the soul. The blood holds the soul. The blood is the soul of man. So you must cook the blood out. But if you are in a what you would call a hunter or a warrior's mentality, you eat the blood to take the spirit of the animal you kill. Or eat like carnivores, like cannibalism, so you can it's like give you some type of strength and power that you're eating blood and taking the spirit of creation. Jacob wasn't going out like that. Esau was eating the rare meat. Now listen, that ain't none of my business. If you got some meat you paid for, you can eat it any way you want. I'm not judging that. What I'm saying is, according to the law, you're supposed to cook it well. Okay? And Esau said, feed me with that red pottage. Listen, I want that thing with blood in it. Read.
For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
His name was called Edom. Edom means red. Now let me show you some of the deceptions of the Masoretes, which are the Jewish powers and the Jewish scribes who wanted to deceive the people into believing that they were Jacob instead of Esau. When you look at the Hebrew word Edom, it's Adawam. That's 4 Hebrew letters. When they got our records, they inscribed Edom or Idawam for ruddy, for David and other people in the scriptures, so that you can believe that Esau was Jacob. But we can see right here in Genesis 25 that Jacob and Edom are 2 separate nations. Also, Idawam sounds close in Hebrew to Adam, which is Adam. But Adam have 3 Hebrew letters, and Adawam have 4 Hebrew letters. But they know the average layman is not going to pick that up. So they made people believe that Adam was Edom, or a red man, by taking out 1 letter in certain places, or adding 1 letter in certain places when it came to Adam's name in certain places in the Bible. Total deception. That's why it's important to know that Hebrew. How can Adam be Edom when Edom came down the line and was born out of Jacob? Impossible. See, and that's how we can break down the deception of the Masoretes, who would try to use ruddy as an excuse to say, well, listen, it say David was ruddy, so he must have been red. Ruddy leads to Edom. But how can Edom be Jacob? Impossible. I just wanted to inject that for those who run into those guys who would like to say, look at this ruddy, red. Jacob was not red. Jacob was not ruddy. Esau was. All right? So that's how you break that down. And the Bibles tell you that them using the pen, the scribes will use their pen in vain. That's Ezekiel. Jeremiah 8 and 8. Thank you. Read.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 31.
Go ahead.
And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright.
So Jacob said, listen, sell me your birthright. You want to eat? You want to live? Give me your birthright. So he was supplanting Esau. And of course, Esau had a choice here. He could have said, well, you know what? Nah, I value the birthright that I came out first. The birthright I fought you in the womb for. What did Esau say?
Verse 32. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die.
He said, I'm about to die anyway. No faith. Read.
And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
What profit will this birthright do to me? So he had no faith in the Most High. Read.
And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
And he sold his birthright to Jacob. Read.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink.
So Jacob actually accomplished his part of the agreement. So what did Jacob do wrong? He gave Esau exactly what Esau asked for. So how can Esau come back later and say, well, I was tricked? And see, and that's what the churches are teaching. They try to make you think Jacob was the bad one. Jacob was the evil one. Now, let's go into Hebrews real quick. Hold Genesis and go into Hebrews. Read.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15.
Go ahead.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of the Most High.
Looking diligently, so that none of us can fall from the grace of the Most High. We must keep our eyes on the prize. Read.
Lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you.
So this is what can turn us away from the Most High. If bitterness sprang up in us. So Esau, something happened to Esau that turned him all the way to Satan. What happens first? A bitter spirit comes up when you started feeling a certain type of way about another person. That bitterness spring in, and that's when Satan come and say, okay, I'll take care of you. No one understand you, but I'll be here for you. It's that bitterness. Read.
And thereby many be defiled.
And that's how people are defiled, by becoming bitter. Read.
Verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
And that's why it says he hated Esau. Because Esau was a fornicator, and Esau also. Read it.
Or profane person as Esau.
And he was profane, and he teaches that. They push pornography. They push all types of wicked, evil acts and say it's okay. They push homosexuality and say that it's okay, it's the right. They push fornication and say it's all right. Because bitterness sprang up in them. Now, instead of them following the law, they're going to be the adversary of the law in the earth. Read.
Who for one morsel of meat.
And for one morsel of meat he did what?
Sold his birthright.
Sold his birthright for a piece of meat. That's the New Testament there. Why? Because he became bitter. When he realized what his brother received, he got very, very, very upset. And it led on a course that would fight his own brother. And he put that course within his children and had his children continue the course in secret societies to fight against Jacob in the future. This is what this is really talking about, brother. The Illuminati and the Masons and all that are the children of Esau. They're at the helm or at the height of all secret societies. The Club of Rome, the Bilderbergs, all these people are Romans. The governments of Europe, the governments that are in Israel today, all these are Romans continuing the war that started in the black woman's womb. Now I'm going to bring this all the way around to the war that we're about to go into today. How this thing link in. And you think it's about this country or that country. No. They understand that Esau is the beginning of the world. And Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So these nations know that Jacob is about to rise. That's what these things is about right now. That's what all these wars are about. You know, they got to get all the power they can and all the weaponry and manpower they can to come against us before Christ returns. I'm going to prove this. Let's go back into Genesis and let's get. I'm not going to go into the blessing, but I'm going to show you what Esau promised to do after Jacob not only received the birthright, but also the blessing. In a nutshell, when you read Genesis 26 and 27 chapter, it lets you know that the mother dressed up Jacob like Esau to trick his father in his old age into giving Jacob the blessing at the very end. So now, by default, Jacob now received the promises that he told Rebekah he would give the second born. Esau was infuriated. He was entirely upset. He says, first you got my blessing, my birthright. Now I don't have a blessing. And he cried before his father Isaac and said, listen, is there anything you can give me? Anything? What did Isaac say he would give Esau?
And Isaac said unto, Genesis chapter 27, verse 32.
Genesis 27 and 32, read.
And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou?
Who art thou? Read.
And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau.
So Esau came with some venison after Jacob already received the blessing. So now Isaac couldn't see, and he said, man, who are you? He says, man, I'm Esau. I'm coming back to get my blessing. Now Isaac is like, man, Jacob, he's rightfully named Yaquah. Read.
Verse 33. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest.
Go ahead.
And have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed.
He says, I blessed him, and believe me, whoever I just talked to will be blessed. That was his brother Jacob. Read.
Verse 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry.
He was upset.
And said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing.
He says, your brother came in total subtlety. He was subtle, but he got your blessing. That's what Jacob means, Yaquah, to supplant. Read.
And he said, Is he not rightly named Jacob?
Is he not rightly named Jacob? Read.
For he hath supplanted me these 2 times.
And Esau said, he got me twice. Read.
He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing.
Go
and
ahead.
he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
He said, Father, do you have at least one blessing for me? And don't forget, Isaac loved Esau. His firstborn, he used to go out and do the hunting and get the food for him. He loved Esau. So Esau's crying, saying, Dad, is there anything for me? Read.
Verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father?
He says, can you give us one blessing? Read.
Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Now listen to this clearly. Go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
And the dew of heaven from above, to show you that they will be living in high habitation. High habitation. That's the mountains. You will get, okay, hold on, we'll make sure we got this. We don't want to break, we don't want to stop it now. We want to make sure we got everything here. One moment. We good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.